every single person which is conducting and changing and transforming his or her life in a spiritual way and is working on herself or on himself, tries to do everything what is in that person's power to implement some kind of technology that will allow that person to run away from the process of illusion, to run away from the world of illusion. This is what we try to do, because this person was awakened, felt the pain, felt the trauma, and said, I don't want to be anymore in this world of lies. I need to run away from that. So there is more and more gurus that are teaching about consciousness, self-awareness, subconsciousness, superconsciousness, and they teach us how to manifest our desires and connect it to this intelligent energy on an even higher level. So we feel as a more spiritual person. So this is the place where we can actually ask a question, quite profound question. Do we need this illusion? Or we are thinking that we are not living in illusion anymore? Because there are in our life events, traumatic events, that they take place. And then we say, we don't want to be in this life anymore. But on the other side, there are desires in our life. We have desires that we want to fulfill, whatever that desire is. Maybe I want to share with the knowledge, maybe I need some money, maybe I need a business, maybe I want to move to another country or buy a house, whatever that is. And as this spiritual person, suddenly, I need this world of an illusion to fulfill my desires. So the best idea is, yes, some of them I don't want and some of them I want. But you see, as long as there is pain, and the pain is on two levels, because the pain is that something happens to me and I don't want that, and awakens in me pain. And pain is also if I don't have something and I have been waiting for that. This is my desire. This is also pain. This means on both levels that we are expecting something, that I expect, that I disagree that this is happening to me. I need to do something with that. I didn't agree for this. I need to do something. You see, the intelligent energy awakens in us through pain that we should reveal another level of consciousness, because the problems will be coming anyway. The pain that we have is that we don't accept, we don't want to transform the acceptance that is creating a space between me, my level of my ego and my level of consciousness, and the intelligent energy that tells me you should be higher. You should be on a higher level. And the same, of course, is happening when I have a desire and I don't have whatever I desire because I'm lacking. Why this is not happening to me? This is exactly the same. This is a level of consciousness, my consciousness, and a level of lack of acceptance between me and the intelligent energy, which tells me maybe I should change something with this. So as long as there is pain, it means that I am an illusion, and it's only illusionary to me that I am controlling the world where I used to be. And perhaps I need this world. So the first step I was mentioning in the first video presentation was that we should stop when the pain is, and not intellectually, but with our heart, with the feeling of our heart. We accept this. When we really accept that, meaning I don't have any more desires that I want to prove something, that I want allow or don't allow to happen something in that particular case to me. If I don't have a desire, I need to have this. This means that I passed the test. This means that it has been shown to me a different level of consciousness, a different layer has been taken off, peel off from my consciousness. But if it is not, it means that it is only a game, intellectual game, that I am on a different spiritual level. So when we talk about the consciousness, it's very good to talk about neuroscientists, because neuroscientists, they measure the consciousness, they try to measure the consciousness, and they talk about so-called emergent phenomenon, which is in the process of measuring that. So if you are of the consciousness, if you are watching me right now or listening to me, it means for them that there is some level of consciousness in you. But it doesn't mean that simultaneously your liver or kidney or lungs have consciousness. So that's for them pretty much confused subject. It's not only for them, because it's also when we talk about this time and when we talk about the being in a time right now, so this also represents another scientist that try to figure it out, that there is no consciousness, or the consciousness maybe even they allow to say maybe there is some part of consciousness in our brain. But when we talk about matter, or when we talk about all the circumstances that are taking place, they say, no, there is no consciousness in that. How can you prove it that there is consciousness? You cannot prove it. So it's actually the opposite. It's impossible to improve. It's so difficult to improve why the matter, why the phone is actually existing. They cannot prove that. Because before we do anything, of course, there is a desire, there is consciousness, and then at the end of the process, there is something which is material. That is difficult to say how it comes that we are actually physical. That is difficult to improve. But let's get back to the subject of consciousness. And when we talk about this measure of emergent phenomenon and the process, how it's going to be built, in a neural way, we are talking about time. And there are two views of that. The one is presentism, that the time is only here right now as we talk. And of course, this idea supports psychologists, psychiatrists, psychoanalysts, all of these people, and now neuroscientists, all of these people, they support this. And the second point of view is eternalism, that everything is eternal, which is I am in the past at the same time, and I am at the present, and I am in the future. So I would like to share with you a couple of sentences about so-called delayed choice experiment, which is that they put the light towards the wall, and between the laser and the wall there was a sheet of paper with a couple of slits. So until this light was not measured, the light was a wave. It was a wave. But when it was measured, it transformed towards a particle. And even though when it was not measured and then was measured, it turns the whole process toward the particle. But what does this mean to me? It's an amazing experiment that proves that if we have pain right now, whatever that pain is, because we don't have something, or someone did something to us, or we don't have whatever we desire, it means that if we measure that, meaning if I'm building a desire, why this is happening, how can I figure it out, how can I use my 5% ego brain to find the resolution to that, how can I get what I want, this means, because I am in a pain, that I measure that desire, I measure this, meaning that I don't change my past, meaning I am not changing my future, because the next pain that is on the way is going to be even more powerful to me. So this is the problem, that when we measure at the present, we are not changing anything. We have to change first of all past, because the future has already been written, and we can do that with our free will only at present. But we have to change first of all the past. So even though we may say that we have to return to future because it's already written, and when we measure that, when we use our ego, when we use our 5 senses, when we use our desires, this means that we are only adding that problem. We are not changing anything. And vice versa. If we don't measure, if we accept, if we allow whatever is happening to us to happen in all honesty, sincerely, then the next level is going to be shown to us. Because the light, this intelligent energy, is everywhere all the time. We, as a spiritual vessel, can develop the speed of light. And we can do that when? At present, when we have free will. Then we transform our consciousness towards the wave. But if we don't do that, if we are measuring, if we are using our ego, which is so smart because we are convinced that we are not using ego, then we are a particle and we cannot change anything in our life. So we are destined again and again and again to confront being a spiritual person with another illusion being an illusion. We need, therefore, the world of illusion. We need, therefore, the world of pain, of suffering, where people lie, to have this free will, not to measure that, but to reveal the next level of our consciousness. And this is worth just thinking about it. Taking into the consideration, what do we do when we are during the pain, when we don't have something, or that something is happening to us? Just make an exercise, whether I am measuring that or not, and if yes, to which degree. This will help you to understand that we are still in an illusion world, and we need actually this illusion to correct, to transform our consciousness.